Fire Call, the fire safety show with Division Chief Jim Sideras.
Hi, my name is Division Chief Jim Sideras, and you're watching Fire Call. This is the fire safety show where we look at behind the scenes of Sioux Falls Fire Rescue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And we're going to answer a lot of questions this month, probably our big question month. And most of the questions this month revolve around how do I become a firefighter? How do we get the training done, and where does that training take place? So what we're going to do is we're going to go out to the training center. We're going to meet a bunch of our new recruits, our new firefighters, before they hit the floor. We're going to talk to some of the trainers out there, Captain Craig Hanna, who's been around for a long time training our new firefighters, Battalion Chief Pat Warren, and he oversees that whole training center operation. And we're also going to talk to Battalion Chief Jim Jarding. Jim's a floor BC Battalion Chief who runs calls and make sure everything's in order day to day. Now, we want you to submit your questions, and if you get your question answered in Sioux Falls Fire Rescue, we're going to send you one of our genuine Sioux Falls Fire Rescue t-shirts. So, sit back, take a load off your feet, come into our world, the world of Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. This question comes from Michelle, and Michelle lives in Tampa, Florida. She wants to know, where does the training happen? Where do firefighters get all their training? And Michelle, we're at the training center of Sioux Falls Fire Rescue. We have one of the neatest training centers in the upper Midwest. It's actually a 5-story building that's constructed of different rooms inside. It has elevator shafts. We can work all the way around this, and this is where we're going to bring all our new recruits out, and we run them through burns, run them through fires. They learn how to rappel off this. It's a great tower. We have a whole training center out here devoted to Sioux Falls Fire Rescue training, so we'll have classes ongoing all the time out here. This building was designed in the late 1970s, and it works great for us. We even have, we can do pit fires. It's just a great place to play around with, Michelle. So I'm glad you asked that question. Our next question comes from Renee. Renee lives in Sioux Falls and wants to know, how long does the process of becoming a firefighter take? Well, from when these firefighters get their first paycheck, how long does it take?
8 weeks.
8 weeks of fun, fun, fun. Because out here today, when it's flame time, it's game time. And that's what they're going to be doing today. What firefighters learn to do when they're at the training center for this 8 weeks is everything from how to pull a hose out of a truck to how to do what appears to be simple tasks like raising these ladders. But the ladders aren't like your home ladders. These are all very heavy-duty industrial strength ladders, so it takes 3 people to set all these up. And it becomes almost an art form of setting them up and putting them down because they weigh a couple hundred pounds per ladder. What they do is they're raising and lowering these ladders with, like we looked at a couple of shows before, probably 50 to 75 pounds of gear on them. So it all is a matter of teamwork, working together, and becoming that where this is all just instinct, where you don't have to think about what you're doing, it just comes all very naturally. Even as they put this ladder up, they have to be very cautious so they don't get hurt. And a lot of times they're doing this, it could be icy out, could be at night, could be in the rain. So they have to be thinking all the time and communicating, and even the way they place their hands, they have to be cautious so that if anything happens, this ladder falls back down, it's not going to take out anybody's fingers. When they work with these ladders are designed for really heavy-duty use because a lot of times it's not just hauling all your equipment out, but you could have to bring down a 200-pound person who's injured or unconscious in a fire, so you're going to have to get them to the ladder, and then you're going to have to figure out how to bring them down. And it's at times can be a very daunting task.
I've just got a short collar. Thanks, sir.
Well, we're inside of this training center, and this whole thing is built to be burned and then relit up and burned again, so it's all made out of a special cement block. Works great. Now the crews are coming up here, and they're going to go in and advance into what is the fire floor. So they're coming up the stairs, bringing their equipment with them, and we're going to watch them how they do it. What they're doing is they're going to practice search operations, and they're going to come all the way up these stairs, then go all the way up. They're going to be working on the 3rd story of this building, and they're going to practice how they go in and how they do their searches. Now they're on air, you can hear them breathing. They got their air packs on, they got a search line with them. And what they do is they're all going to crouch down, because if there is a fire behind that door, it's going to start roaring out at them.
All right, let's tie him up. Let's drop it down there,
What they're going to do is they're going to go in and do a search, and they try and do they're going to do what's called the right-hand search. They're going to go in, follow the right-hand wall, and start searching for people. Now, one of the firefighters, they're carrying their tools with them just in case they have problems. They have to open up a door. And they also have a fire cam, which allows them to look through smoke. The fire cam is an infrared device, much like you see on the military aircraft, and it can look through any type of smoke that obscures the scene, and also will look for changes in temperature. So if we see, if we have someone down inside, a person down inside, the fire cam picks out the outline of the body, works really great. Now, firefighters are always taught to crawl, because if there's ever a hole, they'll fall through the hole. So it's a very dangerous situation, because you can't see, you're walking along, and we've had firefighters fall through floors before, and you'll end up in the floor below you, and hopefully you'll land on something soft. A lot of times a fire can be below you, and when you're doing a search, and if you fall through, you're actually falling into the fire. So this is one of the most dangerous parts of the operation, is working above a fire. Now they're trying to communicate back and forth with each other. And also remember that the temperature is really getting hot in here. As that temperature rises, you also want to stay low, because the heat is rising, and the heat's now up on where the ceiling of the room you're in is. So we teach our firefighters, crawl under smoke, stay low, and keep track with your buddy. Now, if you're ever in a fire, you want to stay low. You want to crouch down, you want to crawl out, because up here is where all the dangerous smoke is, and that's what's going to kill you. Crawl under smoke and stay low. We also teach our firefighters, anytime you look down, you can't see your feet, you better be on your knees crawling, because it only takes a second to fall through a floor, and it does happen. So it's a dangerous, tough profession. We're trying to teach these new firefighters to stay alive, stay safe, and help people out.